Hey guys, in today's video tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use NHibernate version 3.1 into ASP.NET MVC application. So, for people who are not familiar with the NHibernate is entity, kind of like entity framework, because object relational mapping that basically provides. It's kind of like a middle tier. Not a middle tier, it's like a data access tier. It makes accessing, doing basic CRUD operations pretty easy for us. And it is one of the most popular and most robust object relational mapping tool out there. Anyway, let's go ahead and start it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new ASP.NET empty project. Okay, let's go into File and a project. And I'm going to say ASP.NET MVC for web application. I'm going to say practicing NHibernate in MVC or something. Next one, let's say example 1. And I'm going to use the empty template. Because now if you choose any other template like internet application, it puts all kind of other files. So I'm not going to worry about them. And the engine, I'll be using the Vue Razor engine for that. Okay, now let's go ahead and Visual Studio is going to create a solution for you and add some. We're not using any team-pound listen server, so close that one. Like I said, it doesn't have anything. Doesn't have any controller. It doesn't have any models, any view, or anything like that. It has just a web configuration file. Okay, and very first thing we'll do, we'll grab the NHibernate, latest version of the NHibernate, by using NuGet Package Manager. Just click right here, and let's go ahead and grab NHibernate. It finds it right away. It's here. I'm going to go ahead and install the NHibernate, latest version of the NHibernate, into my project. Okay, awesome. That is done. So you can see the version of the Hibernate that was installed. It's an NHibernate DLL or assembly. Then you go ahead and you can look at the properties, and it will tell you the version number of that. Scroll down. This latest version is 3.3.1.4. That is the version that we'll be using. Okay, and okay, let's go ahead and collapse that one, and you can see in the package manager what was installed. See, basically what it did, even though we downloaded NHibernate, but it has some dependency. For example, it has a IESI collection dependency, and it's loaded dependency that it needs. For example, Newton solve JSON or whatever. Anything that it needs is automatically loaded. Okay, great. That is good. So, but now let's do something here. So what we have to do, go into a global ASAX file, and what we're going to do here is we need a ISASN factory from NHibernate. So basically, ISASN factory is the object that NHibernate keep tracks of. That's basically creates SASN that allows us to go into backend database and communicate. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a public static ISASN factory. Of course, it doesn't know what that is. Then we have to do a name resolution here, and it is asking, is that object is coming from NHibernate? I'll say yes, and I want to say NHibernate SASN factory, or something like that. Okay, good. And a couple of things we're going to do in here. This is a global SX file, right? And this, of course, is inheriting from SFTP application. If you go into this definition here, it has a method. Yeah. So it has a virtual method called init. That's the method we would like to override. That's a virtual, so we're gonna go ahead and let's override that method. I'm gonna say, I'll tell you why to override that one later. Override init, and we can do a couple of things. We're gonna wire up an application start and application end event in the global SX file. So basically we're gonna say this on begin request. It's a delegate, right? So that begin request and end request. These two events we're gonna wire up. Sorry for that. I mean to do plus equal tab. Okay, that is good. Now that it doesn't have any implementation, that's okay. We'll do the implementation later. And now I have an NHibernate System Factory. You know, basically now what I have to do is I have to create a System Factory, NHibernate System Factory. To do that, let's go ahead and create a folder here called say configuration, or maybe infrastructure. Configuration, okay? And I'm going to create here a static met class. Let's go ahead and add a new item, basically a class. And the name that of class will be in Hibernate helper. Okay? Here's our NHibernate helper. So basically the purpose of this method right here, of this class right here, is to give us the NHibernate System Factory. Okay, so make this class a static, and we'll write a static method right here. Public static iSystem factory. I'm going to say get NHibernate. Oops, sorry for that. My keyboard. Whatever, I will rename it. Okay, so I'll have a static method here, and this static method going to return me in NHibernate System Factory. So, if you are not familiar with the system, usually in the older version of the NHibernate, you have to either you can put that information into the web, excuse me, in the web config file of your web application, or app.config of your Windows or maybe console application, depending on whatever your application is. But here, it's starting from .NET 3. The NHibernate 3 point whatever. You can actually do that configuration from the code. So that is what I'm trying to achieve here. Okay. To do that, I'm going to say declare variable. Let's say a configure, and I'm going to go into new configuration. I'm going to say NHibernate. This is the configuration namespace, and create instance of configuration object. Okay, and I would like to include a namespace called NHibernate CFG, the configuration namespace, and it has some extension method which are really cool. That's what I will be utilizing. And I'm going to say okay. Once I have instance of configure, I'm going to say, hey, configure. These are the extension method. This extension method is available, like I said, in the latest version of NHibernate. So that's what I'm going to use to configure all the settings. I'm going to say database integration. And if you look at the signature or the parameter that it takes action, basically a delegate, a void delegate, right? So we can do something like this. Let's say define set. You can do a couple of ways. You can either use a lambda expression, or you can use a delegate, or you can just write a function. Either way is fine. I will show you. It's a different way. Let's start with the very basic one using the delegate. Yeah, let's start using a delegate. Anonymous delegate, and like I said, it takes parameter NHibernate CFG, not configuration, but there's a linfoo. This Locasius namespace, and inside there you take IDB integration configuration properties. that's what that it expect. And then I would say, and I would give a name for it.